Alright, so today I'm filming in my car again. I'm gonna make a video talking about dance injuries, my own personal injuries, how I deal with them, and how I prevent them. Also, before getting into this video, I wanted to let everyone know that I am having a giveaway on 7A Dancewear. I'll put it up somewhere on the screen if I can, but I'm gonna release details very soon. If you want to see the details of the giveaway, I highly recommend following either our TikTok or Instagram. It's just 7A Dancewear. But anyways, we're gonna get started. I guess I'll start with my own injuries. So I've mainly, I haven't had anything seriously crazy or anything. It's just, for me, it was always Achilles tendonitis, where my ankles just kept getting inflamed. It just felt really stiff. It just hurted to even just walk or run around. I remember half the time I couldn't even run without them getting all irritated. And just on and off things in general, sometimes my shoulders, my back, or my arches of my feet get kind of that same inflammation. I have personally tried icing when I had my tendonitis, and icing for some reason made it worse, which is kind of weird because everywhere else online was telling me that to ice it, and every time I ice it get worse. So I don't know, heat worked better for me than icing. So I just recommend you ask someone that is professional, or you just do your own research, kind of see what type of injury you have, and then treat it that way properly. Because for me, it was just kind of a weird thing. I obviously took Advil, Tylenol, whatever it was, if I needed to. I've never done this before, but actually taping my arches really helped the inflammation. Again, I don't know why or how it works, because I'm not a professional, but every time I'd be done dance, my arch would be hurting in my right foot, and I'd be oh my god, why does it keep getting swollen and inflamed? And I recently just started using tape. It's kind of like a dressing tape, when you have a bigger cut and it's that nice flexible band-aid material. I just do that. Anything that's getting blisters, I also tape. So for my toes, I just use gauze tape over them, and I don't have as many blisters as I would without. Also, another thing is actually finding the cause of the injury, or why it keeps recurring over and over again. So if it's something you broke your foot, well, obviously you know how you broke your foot usually, and it's not a common thing, hopefully, that you're breaking your bones. But something let's say I don't know, let's say it's a sprain, let's say it's tendonitis, what I had. Once you give your body the recovery, the rest, everything it needs, you also want to make sure that it doesn't happen again or keeps coming back. My tendonitis in my ankles, it lasted a really long time. It was a year. So for the whole year I didn't do point. I still did dance, but I only did on flat. I just, was trying to think back, when did my ankles kind of start bothering me, kind of the time frame, and if I did anything different. For me, it was actually getting new point shoes. I'll try to find videos, but my first pair of point shoes were I don't know, Block, maybe European Balance or something, I don't know. I had my Block Europeans, and then for my second pair of point shoes, I got refitted, and they gave me, same thing, Block Europeans. They were just I believe they were a little bit wider, and then they gave me a harder shank and more padding. So I didn't really think that would have been the problem, because they're technically the same shoe, just a couple different adjustments. Again, I'll try to find a picture from when I had those shoes, but my foot was getting pulled back. So this is your foot, let's say this is going on point normally, but my foot was kind of this. And I don't know, I'll try to show a video or a picture or something, but my foot was not, it was being held back. All the tension was being held kind of farther back in the Achilles area. So instead of just having my shoe hold me up straight, it was kind of slanted back, and then it took the tension into my Achilles, and that's kind of what caused it. And I think that's also why you have to sometimes just trust yourself and just listen to what your body's saying, because this is a professional point shoe fitter, and they told me okay, we're gonna switch you into this shoe, it should be good, you know. I even went back for like a second fitting, and I told this person, like, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I told this person that, oh, like, you know, my feet are starting to really hurt and my old shoes like didn't, and they're like, oh, you just need like new padding. So they gave me new padding, and it like kind of worked at the beginning and then it didn't. If you know something is wrong and like it's just not normal, you should definitely not ignore that. Because like even professionals, like, yes, they are professionals, but they're also humans, so they're gonna make mistakes, and they're gonna think that, you know, sometimes what they think is the best for you isn't the best for you, because they're actually not you. So another thing that did help me in healing my tendonitis was compression. So I just used compression socks that kind of like covered over my ankles. I did get an ankle brace at one point and it did help. It just was like really tight to wear like all day, especially if I was like working and it was like an 8-9 hour shift. So I just found the compression socks were like kind of good for like more like long term than just, you know, wearing the brace all day. And the last thing that I do want to talk about is prevention. So obviously, you know, like you had your injury, you let your body recover and rest, you know, all the things that you usually do. You found out, you know, the root cause of your injury. So now we need to prevent it, obviously. For me personally, I usually notice that I tend to have more injuries when I'm not doing any weight training or extra training just outside of dance in general. I know that like it's not possible for everyone to like, you know, have enough time or even just have money to go to a gym. In that case, if you really don't have a lot of time, just try to find some point in the week where you can do something full body, maybe something like, you know, you can do your whole upper body in like, you know, a half-hour workout, and then you find another day where you can do your lower body. Even if it's just like a half an hour where you can find somewhere to do strength training, it does really help. You're gonna have a lot less injury, you're gonna have more strength, and you know, you're just gonna be more confident in doing certain movements if you know like that you've been training and you have the strength for it. And I feel like a lot of dancers don't actually do strength training. Like, you would think that they do, but I feel like when I've like looked around and when I've asked like other people, like, oh, do you do the, like, you know, do you lift weights, do you do this or that, most of the time it's like they just don't have time. It is understandable if you just don't have the time to do it. I mean, for me, I'm actually just getting back into weight training because I just didn't have time. I'd be working and then I'd be dancing at night, or it would be like, you know, I only have time for one or the other. And obviously I'm gonna train for my ballet exam instead of like doing weights. But this whole point of what I'm trying to say is like, maybe you don't have time now, but in the future, or even like, you know, let's say like you're really busy and you have like literally no time right now, and maybe a couple months from now you do, but just right now you just can't. You know, just find a tiny bit of time, like even just 1 hour a week, just to get the weight training in. Let's say like your only day off is like, I don't know, like a Monday or a Saturday or something. You know, just go in, take the time, take care of your body so you don't have those injuries. I've had like the least amount of injuries I've ever had is when I was doing strength training and cardio and like all the things. Again, I know it's hard to like even have time or just like energy after you're working or going to school if you're younger, and then also taking dance classes, and then also training dance classes outside of your own time, and then just, you know, doing weight training on top of that is just a lot. So, you know, just work out your schedule, figure out when you can do it, and just really just try it, because it does help. Like if you can't get into a gym, you know, you can do like the push-ups, sit-ups, you know, all the basic generic exercises you can do. I'm not a Pilates girl, but there is a bunch of Pilates videos on YouTube. I don't know much about Pilates. Like, I don't do Pilates, so I don't know much about it. But a couple years back, I was watching the YouTube videos for Pilates because it was like COVID, obviously. And those are really good. Like, they were like, I was dying. I was literally dying, and it was like a 10-minute video. Like, it's just using different muscles than what I would be using in the gym. But if you're a dancer, it is really good because they're doing like a lot of core, a lot of like positions where you're just kind of holding and balancing. Like, again, like I'm not a Pilates person, so I don't really know like all the specific terms and stuff because I just do dance and weights. But those videos are really good and really helpful if you just can't get into a gym. YouTube's free and everyone can, you know, just go on there, look for a video. It's like only 10-15 minute workout. I think this video is long enough, so I hope you guys like this video. Again, you can check out my dancewear page. We're gonna have our giveaway soon.